My story is about nepotism, I think. The Webster's Dictionary defines nepotism as patronage or favoritism based on a family relationship. Patronage or favoritism based on a family relationship. I have 8 older siblings: Johnny, Jimmy, Katie, Peggy, Chrissy, Amy, Stevie, Jeremiah, and myself. And we all grew up in the restaurant business, as did our father before us. My father's name is George. There's a couple of misconceptions about the restaurant business that I'd kind of like to clear up. The first one is that you have really excellent food in your house. People think that every night is like veal salt and boca, or pheasant under glass, or something. And I can tell you that as a kid, everything in our refrigerator was in a giant container. It was brown. And you had to smell it before you ate it, because it was kind of rotten. It's not all the way rotten, it's just mostly rotten. The other misconception is this nepotism, this favoritism based on a family relationship. I can tell you that my first job as an official employee of George Pandl's in Bayside, I was, I don't know, probably 9 or 10, and I would drive to work with my dad, and we'd pull in the parking lot, and he'd say, "Wait here. Don't even get to go in the building." He would walk in and he'd come out with a 5-gallon mayonnaise bucket or barbecue sauce bucket, white bucket, and he'd say, "Pick up all this stuff in the parking lot." So this was back in the 70s when everybody littered, everybody smoked, and no one thought that cigarette butts were litter. So eventually, they let me in the building. I got to stand on the bucket then, and I was, you know, maybe I was like 11, probably still 10, and I got to wear this apron, and I thought it was pretty cool. And they let you peel stuff. You got to stand on the bucket and you got to peel like carrots and potatoes and shrimp. Shrimp until you can't stand shrimp anymore. I still hate shrimp to this day. But I saw some things while I was on that bucket. One of the things I saw, one thing was my sister Peggy. She was slicing peppers and on the meat slicer, and she cut her finger right here to the bone. And she went up to my father, and she was, you know, trying to make it stop. She said, "Dad, I can see my bone. I think I should probably go get some stitches." And he looked at her and he said, "Sorry, I got no one to cover your shit." And so she did. So favoritism based on a family relationship, doesn't that sound like we should get the cushy jobs? I'm just trying to figure out what those cushy jobs are. So another thing I saw one day, I saw my brother Stevie hosing off this chair, one of our dining room chairs, out in the parking lot. And I said, what are you doing? And he said, "Well, somebody's grandmother had an accident on this chair." And I so he took that chair out of circulation and put it next to my dad's desk. The salesman would come in and he would sit down or place orders with my dad, and we would walk by and we'd giggle. And so-and-so is sitting in the poop chair. So write my book, my first sentence is going to be, and on the 7th day, God didn't rest at all. He went out to brunch with the rest of creation. So my dad on Sundays was, well, he was somebody else. He was every other day of the week. He was, the brunch is an exceptionally nerve-wracking thing to do, and he was always kind of nervous, and he would do this. And we always knew when he was coming. It was scary. He had veins that just weren't there every other day. And his veins and his forehead, and he had this look, and he was always really uptight. So this one Sunday that stands out in my memory. I was about 12, and I graduated to the Pancake Girl job. I was making the progression. You know, nepotism was really working. And it was in the dining room. We had this pancake grill before you had like omelets to order and pasta, stir fry, and yak or whatever. It was the pancake griddle was here. It was here. And my dad would serve brunch on this big, huge, like, chafing dish on wheels. We called it the 18-wheeler. And he would have his tongs, and he would, and he would stand, right, so we could see each other. And this one day, it was boiling hot. It was like July or August, and it was one of those days where you, like, didn't want to go to the bathroom because you knew you wouldn't be able to get your underwear down. I think to myself, well, it's hot. You know, I'm 12. I'm making pancakes and I'm hot. So I'm going to have some water next to me while I'm making pancakes. And I go to take a sip of water, and I see the tongs and the look and the veins. And he's like, and I'm petrified because I have no idea what I did. I'm okay, what did I do? And he says to me, never, ever, ever eat or drink anything in front of customers. And I was like, okay, well that would have been good information to have like 5 minutes ago. So I would put my water away and I would say, okay, I won't do that anymore. So a little while later, I went back in the kitchen to have a little juice break. There was nobody was eating pancakes. And I was walking out into the dining room, and I reach under the hot light, and I grab a sausage. Breakfast sausage. It looks so good. And I go to put it in my mouth, and it's so hot. I can't bite it. I was like, and the grease is like, coming down my cheeks. And I'm walking out into the dining room, and I can see that the pancake griddle is now formed. There's a line forming. And I have this hot sausage in my mouth. And I don't know where to go. And I look around, and I'm 12, okay? And wouldn't you know it, there's no like messy waitress tray when you need one. There's always one there. And there's nowhere to go. So I put it in my pocket. And I went out to the pancake griddle, and right when I got there, I knew that was a bad idea. Because I could feel the grease seeping into my thigh, running down my leg, and the inside of my pocket was just sticking to my leg. And I was standing there, and I'm thinking, I can't just take this sausage out of my pocket. This guy will tell. He's going to kill me. I'm going to have to go back to the bucket.